He dies.
He's katana.
And he's like, "What the fuck, tank?
Where's the MD?
Where are my heals?"
Yeah, and then the mage is like, "Well, dude, where's my spell power buff actually?" What a mess.
Somebody forgot their flask, bro.
I was checking in my room if I forgot it. But hey, okay, should we do an introduction maybe? Like, you
Yeah,
want me
for
to do it?
sure. Nah, like well, I'll get started. Don't worry, I got this.
Okay, let's go.
I'm Obby. Alright, Gnev, you're up.
I'm Gnev. I play World of Warcraft for a living. They call me a professional gamer, and it's the truth. Okay,
Oh my
who's
god,
next?
so cool.
What a chat.
Yeah, the women lose their minds when they hear a professional gamer.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet.
fanatic. I'm fanatic. I play warlock. I pump. That's all I'm here for.
Oh yeah.
You know how it is.
Alright, so I think we
Son
also got a
Meytrix.
PvP specialist, right?
Rock, paper, scissors.
PvP specialist, that's me.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be me. I don't know about HotShot. Do you play PvP HotShot?
Gladiator for 4 seasons in retail, bro.
Okay.
As priest though, not warlock, but
So
well,
we can
we'll
have
talk
some
about that
PvP
later.
discussion.
We
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
So I am the only one that's bad at the game in this entire chain. Wow.
See that priest back there?
What?
That's
Sorry.
That priest.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
the
your
tier 5.
character.
That's my priest, bro.
Boom. Nah,
Games.
Sam is
guess,
also the only one with a hammer in his room, so he plays WoW IRL.
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Real life is a terrible game. Like the graphics are great, but it's super pay to win. I do not recommend it.
Well, the graphics might be good for you, but like I've actually got like a glasses, right? So I don't know. Like they made some weird graphical
They are
decisions.
like your graphics card, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't quite patch all of the issues in my eyeballs, but let's move that over there. So what I like kind of wanted to talk about in this podcast, it's been 40 days of Frostmourne, right? It's been like a lot of weeks. Honestly, it felt like it went really fast, at least to me. We all had wonderful stories, I guess. Maybe at least, you know, some good launch stories. Like we all played on Frostmourne, at least at the start, right?
Actually, not me. I actually was on a trip for like the first week, which I'm still mad about. But you know, like I didn't, you know, I couldn't make it work. But I started much later.
Oh.
You missed out on the opening, and the opening was fucking awesome. Like there were so many people at the starting zones. Like I don't think I've ever seen that many people in the fucking Barrens at the same time, man. Like that shit was fucking crazy. And the server held out pretty well actually. Like,
yeah.
What we're used to seeing from private servers is everything crashing every fucking minute. But this was really fucking good. Like, did you guys have the same experience? How long did it take you to level up to 80 actually?
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Abby.
I think it took me like a week actually, but I went super slow. I'm sure other people went faster than that.
I ain't got the slash played, but I've been playing on and off and it took me like a while. Also, I just do it exclusively on dungeons because, you know, it's more fun for me that way, and that's also not ideal, I know.
It's almost like you guys have lives. Like, what the fuck is that?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just like not very goal oriented in life, you know. Like I used to play classic like 8 hours a day when it came out, and I was still like a total cheater. Okay. I am lazy in game. Very lazy in game.
So you're a slacker.
Yeah, we were pumping pretty hard. It took me, I don't know. I don't exactly know the slash played, but we did spell cleave in dungeons, and it was quick. And just touching on your point there, Nev, the servers held up very well. I don't think it crashed once.
We did once, like at the beginning, but that was it, I think.
Yeah,
I
just the
think
one, and then like huge lag spikes for a while.
I was very impressed because of at the servers. I was expecting with all those people. I mean, it took hours to do quests that take 5 minutes because there were so many people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where
that's the point.
that cringe thing that people did in vanilla servers all the time. That people were doing queues to right click on an item for quests.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
were you the cool guys that actually stepped inside the in the front of the queue and stole it?
Yeah, that's
no,
me.
I wasn't. But yeah,
Okay,
we.
I lost a lot of respect for all you.
But
You
you
know,
gotta go
what
fast, man. Making
waste of
content, eh?
XP, waste of XP.
Just ninja it, move on, and then like, you know, get to the next quest.
Hell yeah.
Hmm.
No, like if I see a queue, I just skip the whole quest.
Would you
The
guys
quest
say it was the biggest? Would you guys say it was the biggest launch yet of any Frostmourne? Like the Frostmourne 1, 2?
I
Was
mean,
this the biggest one?
Wrath of the Lich King probably. TBC launch, like I don't know. I wasn't there in day one on Frostmourne this time sadly, but the footage I've seen of Frostmourne compared to Outland, I think Outland was even bigger. Warmanes TBC, you remember that era? Oh, the times.
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of people came in preparation for Wrath Classic. Like you saw a lot of neckbeards coming in to just to be ready when the game launches.
Yeah, for sure. I
There's
think.
a lot of classic hype for sure with this launch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see so many videos coming out, like everything just with the Red of the Lich King title. You know, you put Red of the Lich King in the title, that's it. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of the same thing, but god damn it, are people milking it? Like god damn.
What I think this launch did better than the previous launches, though, is the longevity of it. Like, maybe Sanmedina can shine some light on this. You came in like a week later, right? I leveled
It
a
was
week
still
later.
packing.
Yeah, there's so many people you still couldn't level. Like, right now, there's still Tanaris. Like, I leveled there a week ago. There are still so many people. Like, I feel like they really stretched the time that a lot of people would usually have already left the server. I feel like they're doing it pretty well this time.
Yeah, I was just.
What Wrath of the Lich King is very old friendly. I think that's also a part of it, right? Like a lot of people I met were actually leveling their old, like a lot of paladin olds. People really like paladins, you know.
Tier 7 is the time to level alts. It kind of sucks that we don't have cold weather flying, but tier 7 is the best time because
Why is that?
it's just
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I think it's just because once Ulduar comes out, you have Nax to, you know, right now Nax is the raid. So you level alt, you get into Nax. It's the top tier content. It's very easy content. So you can actually gear your alt, especially a tank. I mean, if you level an alt tank, you're get geared no matter what. When
Yeah.
Ulduar comes out, people aren't going to take your alts to Ulduar, right? So I think that's one thing that they should change. If they're doing 3.3.5 in Classic, then they will have cold weather flying, if I'm not mistaken. But I think they should give us cold weather flying in Tier 7, my opinion.
Oh, do you really think
Okay,
that
I got a
Ulduar is
question.
that difficult?
You heard about the Sunwell announcement and stuff. They say they are starting the server in Ulduar. What's your take on that as Wrath of the Lich King more familiarized people?
No. Like, Nox is fun.
I-
Like, it's not fun forever, but like getting up to the gear and doing it once or twice after a long while of not doing it, it's pretty good.
As a person that's played Synergy from day one, their last server that died in Ulduar, I can't see it being very popular. I mean, the
That's
server
what I
literally
thought, but
died.
I'm not like a rat player, like a very big rat player, so I never knew like why would they do that?
There's definitely always a server drop-off when Ulduar comes around.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but what else was do you really think that Ulduar is that difficult? I mean, everything is difficult compared to Nex, but I don't see Ulduar as being too hard. Not at all, even.
I don't think
For
it's...
bugs,
Yeah, for bugs, it's really hard, but like if you're in a guild, I think it's still really hard. There's some absolute challenges in that raid, but I just think it's long. And I think a lot of raids will not like, you know, clear in the pace that they wish to clear. And, you know, that's
Yeah, that's a good
when
point.
stress happens.
Well, like guilds are formed, and since Nax is not challenging them enough, they do not like get rid of all the bad players. They do not have become strict with the rules enforcement and all. Like they do not like improve as a player. They do not build a good core of players for the guild, and then Ulduar is challenging and comes in, and they are not prepared.
Yeah.
That happens so many times. I agree 100%, dude. That
It
happens.
happens in AQ40 in vanilla all the time. Like like guilds, it is very hard to get past BWL as a guild in vanilla. Like a lot of guilds die after that.
Yeah, when you get too relaxed doing something that's way too easy, and
Yeah.
then you get a hammer, yeah, and that shit is hard.
Yeah, and it's also like the frustration building up while you're doing Nux, right? Because a lot of people will see the shortcomings and they'll be like, no, we gotta do it like this, we gotta do it like that, you gotta listen, you gotta flask, you gotta pot, you gotta jam and chant, all these like basic shits. And yeah, if that doesn't get fixed in time, it's like a time bomb.
Yeah, but
And also another thing I think that happens in Rat, like for me, I am a much more casual player, especially in Rat, is that after Nax is done, catching up to the Ulduar people becomes very hard, and it gets exacerbated
Mhm.
after TOC comes out. And like a lot of people, even though it is not impossible, obviously, a lot of people get instantly turned off, especially in Rat, because numbers are all your value. Like I don't know, like in other expansions, previous expansions, if you are of a certain class, people might want to take you even though you don't have a lot of gear, just because utility is a lot more important. Like if you're a shaman, it doesn't matter if you're naked, I don't know, for example. But in Rat, it feels like catching up is a lot harder in general.
and
Yeah.
there aren't too many catch-up mechanics. Like there's Forge of Souls and Pit of Saran, which were introduced as catch-up mechanics for people who were progressing through ICC. But apart from that, I don't know of any. Like maybe the Battered Guild questline can be sorted for
Emblems?
that, but
No, emblems just in their hole. They're the
Andy,
catch-up system.
we're not gonna have, which is one of the main things I wanted to talk about was we're not gonna have RDF in Classic, which is a huge catch-up mechanic with the emblem bonus.
And
That's
that's also going to exacerbate the gear problem, because if you don't have RDF, people are actually going to inspect you and see your gear before
Yep.
taking you to the group. In RDF, you get pulled with
Oh,
people no
no.
matter your gear.
yeah, but
So that's
is
going to be even more toxic. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
yeah,
is that set in stone? Are we for sure not gonna have RDF?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what they're
Is
saying,
that
but I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
about
such a
it.
shit decision,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, who would even think about doing something like that?
They
Like,
wanted to cater to the old school players of not having RDF. That was their
And
yeah,
let me tell you, all the classic people are already gone. They've been
yeah,
gone for 2 years.
yeah.
yeah,
That's very dumb.
it's
So
like
I don't know what Blizz is doing.
so probably WoW developers probably think that every WoW player is a cock and ball torture enjoyer, and they want to fucking
Hey,
torture us any fucking way they can, and that decision is just fucking stupid in every way possible. Like, why would
No.
you like? Why would you remove something that's really fucking good?
Yep.
Like,
But they're rewarding us, so we're getting free death knights, so that the bots will be a bigger problem. But
Yeah,
so
and it's not like there's
oof.
already a huge problem in TBC with that. They're
yeah,
selling what like gold DKP runs now.
yeah,
Bots.
I've seen it
I mean,
in Warmane a bit too, but
there was
yikes.
a GDKP in TBC about 2 weeks ago. The pool of gold was 1 million gold. That is 3 times the gold cap, I believe, in TBC. The
this-
total amount of gold made in that raid, that it got divided afterwards, obviously. The total amount of gold in that raid was 1 million gold. How can you farm 1 million gold in TBC? You can't. They bought it. They estimated it was like $7,000 worth of gold in a single GDKP run.
So
It's
it looks
crazy.
like it looks like Blizzard managed to find a way to ruin Red and the Lich King. Like, holy shit, that's
Well,
impressive.
it's
I don't
not
know what they're gonna do.
not very easy to
Here's
do
the thing.
that, but
Anybody
mean,
worth its salt, if you don't
in
need a
an
level
ideal
60,
communist utopia where you ban bots, you should allow GDKP. But if they are not gonna ban bots, at the very least, do not allow GDKP at all. Because look at that, that's insanity.
I mean, that's just loot system though. It's not like you can say like, hey, I don't think that warriors should be able to pick up the Ice Crown Glacial Wall because they're bad tanks, so we're not gonna allow anyone to do that. Like, that's setting a
I
loot
get
rule.
it. But like in the Blizzard perspective, if they are not gonna ban bots, which they should obviously, but if they are not gonna do that, like at the very least do that because it's gonna destroy the economy even further. Of course, in an ideal world where bots are banned, I would like to have GDKPs, but that's not gonna happen, sadly.
Yeah.
That's my take.
I don't like GDKP as a system. I think that DKP is a much better system, but
Well,
it
how
is how it is.
how about we try to stick a little bit to the Frostmourne side of things? And you know, you're level 80. You got your stuff done. Like, what were you guys hoping to do first? Like, what was your main priority? Like, you know, you got 80. What were you guys doing? And like,
I can start. Well, my goal was to be the best geared mage on the server, which I was, I think, for maybe a week or something like that. Maybe even when the raid came out.
I got someone in my
And,
stream chat. He was like, "Oh, dude, Gnev is 3.5 or 3.6."
Yeah, I know live the shit out of it. I leveled in a day and I just started spamming like everything that I could do. I fucking did in a day. Like there wasn't anything that I wouldn't do to get like even a 5 gear score improvement or something like that. And it was fun for a while, but I got burned out. But it is who it is.
There's not too
How about
much
the
to
rest
do.
of you guys?
There's not too much to do in terms of gearing anyway. Like, you do all your RDFs and you hope for your epics. But yeah.
You do Nax Ramas 5 minutes faster. Yay!
It's the goal, the professions. There's a lot to do. The
Yeah.
reputations. I remember like waiting fucking hours on the Sons of Kotor questline, like fucking hours to just click on a fucking cage.
yeah.
Like that shit was disgusting.
I did mine a week after. I couldn't stand it. I was just worried about getting my enchanting up. Just getting enchanting leveled max was a nightmare. And then it was worth it in the end. We were able to take advantage of the market, but you know, having the professions was huge. I think definitely that's always one of the first things because you need gold no matter what, especially at the start. I mean, but you know, doing the RDF, getting the gear, that was great. Great experience to do it again, fresh with a team. You know, it's always nice. But
Yeah, if you do it with a team,
Yeah.
then yeah, it's really fun. I did it with sorry, I did it with only one friend, and having to wait 15 to 25 minutes in queue as a DPS and a healer,
sucks. Yeah.
yeah, it really does.
Yeah, that's one thing I still don't like about this server. There's 12, 13,000 people on at any one time, and I'm waiting 25 minutes in the queue as a DPS.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, the amount of people doesn't really fix that problem, right? Like, you can have 10
It's a
people and you
proportion,
can, yeah, it's
That's
always
true.
gonna be proportionate.
Yeah, there are
But
12k players and 5 tanks.
well, that's the thing.
That-
There's like 200 DPS and maybe like 100 tanks or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably less.
I like how they made it cross faction.
Yeah, that's good.
That was a great idea. I think they took that from Sunwell because I know Synergy had that. But hey, great idea.
Yeah, if you're gonna
I gotta
steal
give 'em
from the
credit for
best.
that. I mean, Synergy, that was one of the main things that I loved about it was, hey, oh my gosh, it's cross faction. That's so cool. But
I simply cannot imagine playing a DPS in Wrath of the Lich King ever. Like, RDF ruined it for me. I would never put myself through that. Like, what the hell?
yeah,
But yeah,
it
we
could
all
be a
had
lot of bots too.
we all had like PvE experiences, right? But Meytrix, how was your? Did you do any like PvP things? Like you're the
I was actually really hyped about the Mythic dungeon implementation. I wanted to try that one out. even though I'm not that big of a PvE player myself. But I didn't even get to do that yet. So I'm looking forward to hear your experiences with Mythic Dungeons if you have any. But as far as PvP, I didn't have as much time for gearing as I hoped to have. So I opted to play on Blackrock Seasonal instead.
Hmm.
But I guess that still counts because
Yeah.
you also meet people from Frostmourne in PvP. So that was a lot of fun. You have some more activity than you used to have with previous Frostmourne realms, but it's still nowhere comparable to Ice Crown. Ice Crown is still the king.
Yeah, but like battlegrounds and stuff. Does how bad is the queue if RDF takes like 30 minutes? Like how's that for
Battlegrounds are
VG?
pretty fast in a matter of few minutes.
I did play actually a little bit on the Black Rock seasonal server last year. I made like a rogue raid and then I just wanted to see how crazy that damage was, but it's actually a really fun meta like this early on. You get some stuff that really shouldn't work as well as it does. Like the Frost Decay in PvP even really slaps at the moment.
Then people figure out like they get their comps and you go against TSG every game, I imagine.
We were talking about that earlier. TSG, man, yeah, it's nuts. It really
Okay, actually Meytrix is an expert on the Preg Paladin, the ultimate counter to the TSG composition.
is.
So
Did you see a lot of TSG in this season yet, or?
Not really. I haven't played much of 3v3 at all. It's like there are some 3v3 solo QQs going on, but not too many, so it's pretty hard to get in.
That was always a problem with Warmanes. Nobody plays free for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
Like I know when I wanted to try it, I think I waited more than an hour for the queue. Like the chat is just fucking dead, and there's no way to fix it.
The worst thing
I guess
is, like, it's dead, right? So you might think to yourself, all right, if I get some couple buddies, like we'll 3v3 against each other, like we'll not win trade, but we'll see. We'll get like some stuff done maybe. That's bannable. If you intentionally queue up against each other, you're gonna get banned. So like,
that's win trading, yeah.
yeah, literally.
Yeah, but you can pretend to hit each other and then hey, my mouse slipped.
Oh no, I
do you
DC.
guys remember? Do you guys remember Phoenix? WoW, like back in the day,
Yeah.
really old server. Okay,
Yeah.
it was so imbalanced at one point that it was like people in the horde were making alliance ults just to make the battleground queues pop.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think they still do that on Warmane, actually.
Oh my god.
Like, the thing is, though, they'll put the character in, like, a Warzone Gulch, right? And then they just have it AFK. So for the first 5 minutes or so, you're fighting 9v10.
Yeah.
I heard about some racial changes that are going on. Did you hear about it? Like, I think I only saw a title to a video, but I heard that they'll be rebalancing the races. Like,
In
who knows what they'll in classic Wrath. Yeah,
Huh.
that's what I heard.
No, back in
Maybe
TVC, and this is a huge problem, people don't really understand. Back in TVC, for example, the racials were so broken that every hardcore raiding guild, this is more of a PvE problem, obviously, or the hardcore raiding guilds back in TVC 2007, they all migrated to the Horde. And what happened was that it snowballed over the years because, if you were an aspiring hardcore raider, you went to the Horde because you wanted to join all those guilds. And what happened over the course of like 10 years is that there is not a single damn hardcore raiding guild in the Alliance. Like, you look at all the modern ones, I don't know, Method, Limit, whatever, they are all Horde, even though the racers now are very balanced. But like the community died because of it on the long term. And like, I think it's a good thing if they want to rebalance that preemptively.
Like you look at the first Illidan kill, that was what, Blood Legion? They were Horde. And then I don't know how many after that, they were all Horde. So yeah, I could see it in Classic too. They were really unbalanced, I agree.
Even on Warmane, it's always been, if you are a pro DPSer, if you want to min-max, like all the way to the max, you go Horde. You get that troll ratio, you get that orc ratio. Like, that has been the mindset for more than 10 years. Like, I'm not kidding.
Meytrix, you made a
And
video.
paladins also had the best seals in TVC. So if you wanted to play a red paladin or a prot paladin, it was also better in the horde.
That was actual difference, right? Between vengeance and
Yeah,
corruption.
they had Seal of Blood. I don't know how
Right.
they call it in. Seal of Blood was only horde back in TVC. And Seal of Vengeance was only Alliance, but it wasn't the Seal of Vengeance we got in Rat. It was like a lot worse.
Yeah.
What is the race balance at the start when WoW just got released? Because I figured that most people would go for something cool, like
Very,
I don't
very
know
close
what.
to 50-50, but in Asia, and this is why they put Blood Elves in the Horde, in Asia it was like 80% Alliance, because nobody wanted to play an ugly race.
I know that there are some mods in China. I think that they put flesh on the undead so it doesn't offend their eyes or something
Right,
like
the
that.
bones. It doesn't offend their
Yeah.
eyes.
The feelings of the Chinese people.
Yeah, it's like the bones. They can't show bones. It's like a religion thing, I think.
I got
Or
no idea.
something.
Going back to the faction balance, I know
Oof.
Meytrix, you were talking about this in one of your videos about how they should remove the 1.5 times honor from the alliance
Uh-huh.
On
Yeah.
Warmane.
on Warmane, because everybody who's PvP is going to play alliance because they get the honor bonus.
Human.
So,
Even
and
without that bonus, they would play Alliance anyway.
the human racial is still very OP, but it just makes it even more so unbalanced, right? I mean, who was I think Unlucky was the only Alliance PvE guild so far, I think, in the whole Frostmourne. I could be wrong, but
So
I mean, I know
Yeah.
they were top 5 leaderboards every single season, but everything else was Horde.
Yeah, I think a better move would be to give emblems for PvE to Alliance and have something for players to play PvE on Alliance instead, and give the honor points bonus to Horde so that Horde has some PvP players over there.
See, I think Synergy came up with a great solution to this. You could change your faction bonus. You talk to an NPC in Dalaran as a blood elf, and you could change it to an orc.
Yeah, but
Or you
the
could
question is,
right?
sorry, the question is, when is it too much? Like, when can the server owners or Blizzard say enough is enough? Like, when do they stop playing God and changing things about the game? Like, because you've probably all seen those private servers where they change everything and it doesn't even look like World of Warcraft. And when is it enough? Like, they say that vanilla was perfectly imbalanced. Like, no, the classes weren't the same, the races weren't the same, and that's okay. That's completely cool. Like, maybe players will complain later, hey, warriors do too much damage or rogues do too much damage, but it just is how it is. And the class anyway and stuff like that, it exists for a fucking reason. I think those things are really cool. Like, because if you try too hard to balance things, first of all, WoW will never be balanced. It shouldn't be balanced. And every class should have a spot in it. And that's completely fucking cool. And yeah, just the question is, when is it too much? Like, what can they change? What should they change? In my opinion, it really shouldn't be anything except adding RDF at the start of the game.
You know that episode in The Simpsons when Homer travels back in time and he steps on like a fish and the entire universe is different? I think
Yeah.
MMOs are like that.
Yep.
Like they have so many moving pieces that one tiny change will snowball into creating a huge change because it goes to every other system in the game indirectly.
Yeah, and I think
It's very hard.
with racials as well, it's one of those things that, yeah, it's good to have the pumper racial on the pumper class in the pumper raid, but honestly, if you make a character like a undead warrior, like, who makes that, you know? Maybe for PvP there's something that I don't know about, but like for PvE it's not good. It's not like a good thing.
Yeah, but it looks fucking awesome. Man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the thing.
Cringe!
But then,
Cringe!
but here's the
Come
thing,
on, man.
right? You don't need to all have the same abilities if that ends up happening, you get Shadowlands, where a rogue is basically a self healer. You get like everyone does everything. In Wrath of the Lich King, it was always like, all right, the troll, he's got haste buff, so if you want to do haste things, you go troll. And you know, it kind of builds a thing. Like you make the character for that reason. You build a journey with that character, and then like at the end, if it's worth it, well, that's up to you to decide. That's not up to some meta.
Also, you have to keep in mind that we're looking at the game from the neckbeard perspective. Like, when was the last time that you chose a class just because of how it looked? I mean, I
Dwarf.
know the. Okay, cool. And
Dude, I got a
I
female
You saw
Tauren.
my blood elves, right?
yeah, that's true. Okay, HotShot has 10 blood elf females, and they are respected.
And they're all
But
slut mogged, but we'll not go there.
But like this season of Frostmourne, I took a female cow Tauren. Like if I cared about my racials, I would have made a night elf. Shadow Melt's freaking overpowered, right? And I got like this undead warrior, which I haven't leveled yet.
Yeah,
but...
when you gotta go to the bathroom, you click on Shadow Meld and you go to the bathroom and nobody kills you. You know, it's broken.
Yeah, well, let's say you're doing Ram's first race, right? And you pull one too many mob. Are you gonna die and waste 4 minutes, or are you gonna press Shadow Melt and keep going? Like, it's really OP Shadow Melt. It is S++ tier racial, like...
How about the troll? You know, like you regenerate 20 HP every 5 seconds in combat. Oh my god, you cannot die.
Actually,
you cannot die.
that's really good. Like, outside of combat, you notice that. That is like a noticeable effect if you're AFK or like walking from point A to point B in Northrend. You get 20% HP.
If you are like a Chinese hunter and you're just farming gold, it's probably good.
But what do you guys think? What do you guys think Blizzard could do to improve Classic, or even what Warmane could do to improve? I'm kind of interested on your guys' thoughts.
Well,
I think they should go to the approach of Warmain Outland in the sense that they did some monetary incentives to improve faction balance. For example, they made it so you would get your flying mount a little cheaper, something like that. Not actually change the ratios, but give incentives because Alliance, like I don't know, maybe the other guys are gonna mold at me, but I always thought that Alliance was for the more casual-oriented player base. And you know, like casuals are not gonna care if they get the berserking on a human. Okay, like if you wanna get casual players to play in the alliance, like make it a little easier for them to do like their chill raiding and stuff. I think that would work a lot better. I don't know.
In my opinion, the game is good as it is, and it really shouldn't be changed that much. What Blizzard could do is incentivize events. Like before there was BlizzCon, before that was the big part of the year when everything happened. But I haven't seen Blizzard organize a fucking community event in so long. Like when the races for, I don't know, to be the first ones to reach level 60, 70, 80, if they actually brought in people to that and didn't just put it out and be like, fucking have fun, you know? Like, if they actually organize things, I think that would be a huge improvement to the game. And it would bring so much people in. Because we saw what happened with Classic, with I don't know, with what Asmongold and the other big streamers did to it, because there were
Classic
so many
cast.
people. Yeah, but so many people went back to play the game because of that. And if only Blizzard did something with that.
I think all they have to do is just put good Wotluck. Right? Like you just take care of the obvious issues, which are like the things we talked about, but then like the primary thing is just put good Wotluck. It's a good game.
Yeah,
And the idea.
that's a good
I
idea.
think-
I think that's I think that would bring back a lot of people and have some kind of like arena tournament. They don't do that in Classic. Like Meytrix, could you imagine doing a Classic arena tournament? And like that would be sick, dude. You know what I mean? Like
I'd want to see that. I'd see that for sure.
that'd be so cool, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Imagine Homer J and the other legends coming back to it and fucking destroying everybody.
Yeah,
I don't know. That would be
Rex
fucking
will-
awesome.
He come back
Uh,
from the grave for that one, I think.
Yeah.
He
No.
would. Yeah.
Like for real, Meytrix. Imagine they did like some sort of good support for esports in Raj, which I think has a lot more potential than TVC.
Mhm.
What would you do to like? What would you play if you wanted to min max your chances?
TSG, bro.
Man, that's so unrealistic. This would happen. I can't even think.
I don't
Like,
know, man. Like, thankfully we had like as Mongol and like AS Fund. I think they organized their own tournaments and they had like decent prize pools. Like, it wouldn't be too crazy.
Yeah,
I
but
would have to leave my IRL job for sure to get ready for something like that.
Oh,
it's worth, man. Just do it.
Yeah.
okay, so Hamsterville asks, do you think that we'll see TOC 10-man normal groups in Red Classic that ask for 6k gear score, like on Warmane? Like, yeah, do you think that the people will become fucking elitists with everything they fucking do? Because
I don't.
again, I don't think that many people play the game for fun anymore. It's just out of habit most of the time, and
I actually think I got a
okay,
checkmate
fuck
to hamster wheel. You use average item level, right? On classic, like they got that integrated into the game. You don't use gear score. Checkmate. Like there's this average item level thing, right? Like you got that in Shadowlands. Everyone uses that. That's probably in classic. Is it?
no, it's not in classic TVC
Ah,
or
shit.
vanilla, but it's probably in the code somewhere. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be too hard to put in.
If they do use gear score, you're probably gonna see stuff like that though.
Yeah, I think it's especially in Warmain, like trying to pug something. It's tough, man, and you know, it's gotten to the point now where I just don't. Especially in season 3, I think a lot of players have come back to World of Warcraft just to play Warmain season 3 because of the hype. So I found that this season, pug wise, there's just been a lot more bad players just because they haven't played for so long. I could speak endless about this. Like even in
That was the number one
drafts,
complaint when I interviewed the players, actually.
yeah, so trying to pug something. If I'm gonna do even a Nax right now, I'd say at least 3.6. You know, like at least if you're bad, you can your gear score will at least carry you. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, here's the thing, right?
It could be different in
I
a
know,
classic.
I know people really love saying that RDFs are so bad on Warmain, but like my experience with Mythic 10 plus, like anything above 10 on retail, is so much worse than what I've experienced on
But that's
Warmain.
not supposed to be pugged. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Like, it's not
That's the no
intended
no no
to be
no. Hold
pugged.
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. You just said something really important there, right? It's not intended to be pugged. Going to Kel'Thuzad in 1 day within 2 hours is not meant to be pugged either. What you can expect from a 3.4k gear score pug is
I think
wipes.
classic launch, like sorry,
No, I
rat
know.
launch,
Hold up,
the
hold up.
original rat launch.
What you could expect from like those kind of bugs is wipes and eventually a raid over halfway through. Like, you know, they're not a guild. You gotta lower your expectations or set the bar higher.
Just look
I
at.
mean, I say this all the time, and I will say it again. If you want to have anything, any sort close to fun in World of Warcraft, doesn't matter what expansion, get a guild and get befriend good people. If you
Yeah.
want good meat, befriend the butcher. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
saying in Spanish. That's it. That's it. Doesn't matter if you're not a good player yourself. You surround yourself with good people that are decent at the game and they are like not jerks, and you're gonna have a much better time.
Yeah, you
yeah,
learn.
Yeah.
that's the biggest truth about WoW.
hmm
It really is just about the community at the end.
This
Because,
the social game.
You could join an elitist guild and think they're all assholes, and a lot of people they get G kicked for something stupid and they quit the game. It's like there's a lot of guilds out there, you know. Like you don't have to stick to just one.
Yeah, and then that's their
Okay.
experience of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
okay, at this point of your WoW career, let's call it, would you enjoy being in an elitist guild where everybody is an asshole but is really good at the game, or a Care Bear guild where nobody really knows what they're doing, and nobody really cares what they're doing. What would you enjoy more?
As
I
for
want
me,
a guild full of assholes that are bad at the game because that's my current guild and it's very fun.
Clearly.
as for me, I've been on both sides of the spectrum in Warmane. I mean, I've been playing for over 6, 7 years. I've been on both sides. You know, to be honest, I like the asshole elitist guild. I'm in one right now. I love it. I like clearing content, get it over with. We just do it. I cannot put myself in a situation where I'm looking at other people, looking at their gear, looking at what they do. I've just done it so many times, and it frustrates me. I get to the point where I don't have fun anymore. But that's just me. You know what I mean? That could be somebody else. They like doing the Care Bear thing, but personally, we got to clear it and get it over with. But you know, that's just me, I guess.
Well, what does a real PvPer actually think about this? Would you want to be in a pure elitist asshole guild, Meytrix?
I think I would just get sick of either one of these. Like over time, it wouldn't be sustainable to be in a guild like that.
Yeah, I think that's the real answer. You gotta find like that good in between, right? A good community where people could just be themselves, even if they're assholes. Like, guys, I bet every single one of us here can be an asshole and have fun while they're doing it.
I have
No.
been. I have been, man. But I feel bad afterwards. But it's like,
It's
dude,
fun.
why did you discharge that red ooze? Like, anyways.
Sometimes I do it for content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know, like maybe there's even times where that little bit of toxicity can be alleviating, right? Like it's not the kind of toxicity where you're like, okay, you know, fuck you, fuck all of this and your whole ancestry. No. But where it's like, you charged the red ooze. What is wrong with you? Are you stupid? You know, and then like the raid leader is doing that for everyone, right? Not necessarily toxic. Like you can. It all depends on like the connotation
To
behind
be
it, I
unclear
guess.
is to be unkind. Like you gotta think of, yeah, this guy is gonna feel bad when he does a mistake and somebody yells at him, but the other 24 people are gonna feel a lot worse if the raid leader doesn't call it out. I always thought that was important, right?
Yeah.
Like for morale.
Yeah.
There are levels of toxicity. There really are.
Mhm.
And it's kind of interesting how really good players always tend to be toxic. Uh, I think it's the same as in League of Legends. The higher rank you go, the people are more toxic, and I think it's because a lot of the good players don't have lives. Like when you live for World of Warcraft, how do you kill that which cannot be killed, right? Like, how do you kill that which has no life? I mean, uh, and when you only really care about WoW, as I have for a very long time, uh, then things like that really ruin your day. You know, if you came home after I don't know having 10 massive orgies and somebody charged the red ooze, you wouldn't really mind it too much, would you? Like,
You're sitting there like, okay, it's good, man. Don't worry.
I don't know. I
think
just
there has
simply
to
think
be-
that the people that are high level in League or in WoW or whatever, they simply care more about winning than everybody else. Like for me, if I lose a game, it's no big deal. You know, I can live with it. But when I do that to somebody else, it really, really, really matters to them.
Yeah, imagine.
Like I don't know.
Imagine you're in League and this guy is really good at ARAM, right? So he tries very hard and he loses because of you. Oof.
Yeah, no, like for example, we're in a class of making clay statues, right? I made a very crappy statue. I didn't really care. It took me 10 seconds to make. But then Gnev over there made an angel that's like 3D and has like is a beautiful statue, award-winning statue. If I go and smash Gnev's statue, Gnev is gonna be really mad. But if Gnev comes and smashes my crappy statue that took me 10 seconds to make, I'm not gonna care. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably the better looking statue now.
It's a good point. I mean, if you don't care, you don't join the guilds like that, right?
Yeah.
A lot
True.
of people, if they care, they'll join an elitist guild. So that's a good point. I agree. Meytrix, just like starting a new arena team with new people, you know, it's like you sit there, you can nitpick everything, or you know, what are
I
your
was
thoughts
just
on that?
thinking because I tend to change servers and expansions a lot, and it's completely different mindset when you're playing an expansion for 10 years and you're expecting to excel at something you've been doing for so long, and then you change servers like I changed to Warmane this year. I'm like, I'm happy to have 1800 rating and unlock my weapon because that's something I've never done on this expansion.
Yeah,
So it's so different.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I
I
don't
think it
even have a
just
shadow
comes down
worm.
to what you
What the
care.
fuck?
I did want to talk about a couple of things though on stream, and one of them was the mythics. Matrix, you figured you were interested in them. Why were you so interested in them?
I like the possibility of being able to enter the highest rated PvE, let's say, and get the best in slot items in PvE without the necessity of forming a 10 or 20 man group. You only need four other people, so it's a lot easier to get in touch with those people and schedule some run compared to the normal raids. So that's what I like about Mythics, and that's why I love to play Legion expansion because that was when first Mythic Plus came out, and so you had the possibility to get the best in slot gear in just 5 people.
Yeah,
That's a really good point, I think. And the ranking system is very important for that because having an incentive to push higher and higher keys really improves the game quite a lot. And I don't know, I like fucking rank in video games. Like wherever there's a ladder, I like fucking climbing it.
I don't want to
And
go too in depth into potential Mythic Plus maybe for season 3, but would you guys like Mythic Plus?
Hell yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
but
Anything that makes heroics harder,
Yeah, and having
yeah,
it ranked would be amazing.
like a
Absolutely.
speedrun. In Endless TVC, they had that actually. They had a scoreboard. Like you could use a command and have a scoreboard in chat for all the speedruns of raids. That would be a cool thing for Warmane. That would bring some people.
Yeah, you know
yeah,
what?
but
They could give like silly rewards. I'm sorry for constantly interrupting you as well, Nev, but imagine like
that's okay.
you win the week, right? We do Mythic and we're all pumpers, we pump it, and we all get fishing chair, carved ogre idol, you know, this silly item, foam sword rack. I don't
That
know.
was something I was thinking about they would do when I first saw when they announced season 3 with the Mythics. I was like, are they going to have like unique rewards? Is there going to be a ladder? I was really excited for it, so I hope that they do it. And
Yeah,
another thing too, Matrix, somebody in your position, when Ulduar comes out, it's it's very tough to pug. So, and that's the only raid that you can do for that patch. At least now, somebody that's casual or focuses on PvP, they still have the mythics to do. So I think it's going to keep the player base a little bit more interested when when that patch is out. Like what we were talking about with synergy, it died completely. There was on average
Honestly,
10 players
having
when Eldor was out.
if it wasn't that difficult to get in PvE, like you need a raid group for that, I would have probably been playing PvE a whole lot more. It's just PvP is so much easier to get into because you literally only need one arena partner, or you can log into an RBG or something.
Yeah.
So easy.
I am a vanilla Andy, and people say all the time vanilla is like a lot harder. Nobody gets to raid in vanilla; is super impossible. I believe, legitimately, honestly, that there is a much bigger barrier of entry to raid in Rat than in vanilla, like magnitudes.
huh?
It's like a lot harder to become a raider in Rat than in vanilla. Like if you want to have any degree of success, in my opinion. Because
But
in vanilla, even if you join late, you can still do molten core, and people are gonna take you even if you don't have a lot of gear.
okay,
But in Rat, like you are gate kept a lot more, I feel.
but
It's just going to get worse with no RDF.
Yes,
I think though
absolutely.
that Warmane might be onto something there, and I'm not sure if, you know, once again, like as a PvP player, these time walking raids, they're, I mean, Guild Toss is pretty tough, not gonna lie, it's pretty tough bug. But
15-minute fight at least.
yeah, and it's a lot of mechanics for a puck to, you know, properly do. But the Serpent Shrine Cavern, that should be a ton of loot, right? Like, that's potential for you to pick up some bis weapons, maybe, like a trinket.
Yeah, but it really has to be done right. The difficulty has to be done right, because when something is too easy, like heroic dungeons in Wrath, it just gets really fucking boring. If something is too hard and it feels impossible, again, it's very boring. People fucking stop. So
True.
getting the difficulty right is the most difficult aspect of it.
The
Although,
Cataclysm problem.
Yeah, dungeons in Cataclysm.
You know, when Cataclysm came out, the people were like, heroics are too hard, too hard. Why do I want to do heroics? You gotta ship like 2 mobs just to do the things. You gotta heal the tank in Cataclysm. No, I cannot, my brain cannot process this. And then they nerfed the dungeons, and everybody was like, no, I'm not gonna play it anymore. It's too easy.
I legitimately soloed dungeon bosses as an Affliction Warlock. Like, it's possible with the pet healing and the pet resurrection. Like, it really is doable. But
and honestly, that's the biggest problem with Threat to the Lich King, in my opinion. Just the game being way too easy. Because
a classic isn't gonna make that any better. Without the 30%.
And
that's
everybody's
true.
gonna be coming with best in slot TBC gear because a fresh realm is a lot harder too in that regard. Like it happened in TBC too. Like people coming in tier 3 from next run and they went to all the gruels and they were doing like DPS from day one. They were better than pre-raid best in slot in day one.
Exactly.
Like yeah.
And I don't know if any of you guys play retail, but I've recently gotten into Mythic raiding, and it really is extremely fucking fun, just because of how difficult it is. Because honestly, the raid that I'm doing now compared to ICC is it's like going to college after being in I don't know, elementary school for fucking years. And I think that makes it a lot more fun. And if they manage to get something like that into Wrath, I think it'd be really fucking cool.
Agreed. It's even if Warmane does it, even next season having Mythic Plus, and Blizzard sees that, I think could be something that they could do. But yeah, I think having Mythic Plus would really, with leaderboards. I mean, coming from a Diablo player, having leaderboards,
Yeah.
you play it for, right?
A lot of people.
Especially us as content creators, right? Because
Yeah.
like this is not gonna be me because I'm not good at the game, but one of you guys that that'll be a compelling stream, right? Like we
Yeah.
are doing the world record speedrun for Pit of Saron. I don't know. Like that's
Honestly, that's fun.
interesting.
I do that.
That's interesting content to watch.
Yeah.
People love speedrunning.
And they
You
love
go
to see
in,
the strats and everything. Yeah.
you go in with 4 blood DKs and 1 DPS, and everybody takes one boss and kills them.
Yeah. I think it could add a whole new dynamic to Wrath with Mythic Plus. I think that's something that they should do.
Yeah.
But the dungeons that are in the game right now, in retail, I mean, were designed with Mythic Plus in mind.
Yeah.
The mechanics in Red Dead Lich King, the dungeons aren't really that complex. There are some mechanics, but
We're
it would be
getting
really hard to balance the game towards it.
Yeah, we're getting Burning Crusade dungeons as well. So it's like we had Mythic Anzu last week. That was wow. That was like the hardest thing yet. Still not that hard if you like, you know, had the right group and stuff, but like that was pretty challenging. I kind of hoped for Red Lich King dungeons myself as well, because I was thinking like, hey, you got this Prince set fight where he freezes someone. Well, how about him freeze 3 people, you know? And the skeletons actually bop. I'd love
TBC
that.
is complicated for dungeons because I think the biggest challenge in TBC is not the bosses, it is the trash.
Yep.
Like that's the filter. And I play a prot paladin every time, and that like it's ridiculous how far ahead of everybody else you go just because of having consecrate as threat. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I would like to see bosses buffed, not the trash. I think that's a big mistake in TBC.
But
I want the bosses to be the challenge.
how's your experience, Sophie, with Mythic Dungeons? Like, were they too hard at the start, or did everyone clear them?
I didn't.
Also, also HotShot. You played quite a lot of them as well. Like, how was your experience? Did you like it? Because I quit after the first week. I just took a break. Uh, did you enjoy the Mythic Dungeons?
You go first, Hobby.
All right. Well, I didn't do the first one, so maybe you should go first if you did somewhat plateau.
The first one was good. I thought it was actually fairly challenging. Um, the last boss was pretty tough. You actually had to CC. You actually had to, um, it was very close to almost doing faction champs in TOC. Actually, the last boss, it was, you actually had to time it. You had to make callouts. I think they did great with that last boss. It wasn't like ridiculously tough, but it was good. It was something that I was expecting. The trash in the first one was tough. The tanks would get one shot like you wouldn't believe. You had to CC like crazy. So it was pretty close to what I was expecting. It wasn't ridiculous, but you actually had to use your brain. It wasn't like you just walk in heroic, spam seed of corruption, and you win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah,
it
how
was
long?
good.
Yeah, I gotta keep
thought
the
it
How
was-
roots
long
up
did
and
it
stuff.
take you?
It took us about an hour. It took us about,
That's
That's
not
really
too much
good.
at all, honestly.
yeah.
That's
it took
really
us
good.
about an hour. So, every single trash pull we had to think about. It wasn't you just go in there and spam seed of corruption. We actually had to plan out, mark. My wife played mage, so she had a sheep at least twice. I couldn't just use my AoE as warlock. I actually had to think about what target I was going to hit. The paladin and the healer were constantly communicating.
And this all sounds so basic, right, when you talk about it like
But,
this,
yeah.
but it makes the game so much fun when you're playing
That's
it.
what we play for PvE, right? That's what you
Yeah.
do. So I thought it was great. And then the last boss, like I said, it felt like doing faction champs, but hell of a lot more difficult. I mean, some of the mechanics in faction champs is ridiculous. Like if some of the combinations, like if you get rogue, DK, warrior, enhancement, good luck, right? But
Yeah.
it was cool. So
Oh,
that's my take on the first one.
Well, you play WoW with your wife.
Yeah.
Fucking relationship goals, man.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she plays a really really good mage. She's been playing for like 10 years at least. So
Nice.
she
Good,
drew
ta-
that
good
priest,
taste as well.
this priest here. She drew that priest.
Really.
Yeah.
Now you should start selling that.
Yeah, we've been talking.
Yeah, put that on a T-shirt, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's so good.
We were talking about it. So, but yeah, it was good. I think the first one was very balanced. It was tough, but it wasn't ridiculous. But this week, a different story.
Yeah, Mythic was, or Mythic Anzu was honestly a step up so far. Like, it's been the hardest that I've done anyway. The first week, we had the MGT, but the second week we had Mechanar. And, well, I loved it. Very much the same. The trash is the hardest part. The bosses are HP bags, but very doable. And we actually got a bug. The third boss didn't summon for us. When you go through the gauntlet in the Mechanar and you fight a couple of mob packs, right? And then at the end you fight Pantaleon or something. He was there, but we were phased out. So a GM came in and fixed it for us, like within 10 minutes. Very cool. But yeah, besides that, the Mythics have all been either very tank heal heavy or raid heal heavy, right? From a healer's perspective.
Resto Shaman is, I still think, the best for Mythics right now because Chain Heal is just unparalleled.
Well, I'm playing the Resto Druid, and I gotta say, the tank healing is rough.
Yeah.
Like, it is rough.
I would honestly go with the Holy Paladin for the dungeons.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Beacon has so much value.
It does. Yeah.
In a group like that.
And when the Mortal Strike comes up, the Resto Druid HOTS. Yeah.
Do
Wait,
the
so your
mythics
tank is
rotate
getting
every
mortal
week?
striked?
Yeah, like 75% on some packs.
Yeah, Meytrix. You like just what do you think about that as a PvP player?
Do the mythics rotate every week?
Yes,
Yes.
every week you get a new mythic. So far it's been new ones. It's all been Burning Crusade dungeons. And they all have had their own little issues, like some mechanics didn't really work. Maybe sometimes they forgot to buff a character's mana, like a specific NPC's mana, so you could, Burning Crusade mana values, just mana burn it. The NPC isn't a threat. But overall, there hasn't been many bugs. Like, it's been very good actually, very fun.
Mm,
If they put
What's the
leaderboards on that, oof, be cool.
yeah? What's the gear score you would advise a player to have to enter a mythic dungeon? What gear score should they have?
Well, I honestly believe that the highest gear score that you should get as a person, if you want to do any kind of PvE content, is 3.4. At that point, you find a guild, because 3.4, you get that from RDF, right?
Mm.
At that point,
With
you
the
can...
booster state, you can
Yeah,
get that, don't
yeah, like a couple BOEs, RDF heroic, you're 3.4 for sure. I think at that point, you can start doing all the content. But it's kind of the same effect as the gear score item level thing I was talking about, right? Like, you can go into a mythic with 3.4, but that last boss is maybe gonna be really, really tough. But
Let
it's
me make a
probably
prediction on
doable.
Classic. If they remove RDF, I think this is gonna ironically happen. It is gonna become expected that people will ask for a higher gear score than what you would get off the dungeon that they are trying to do. I think that's gonna happen.
you see that in Ice Crown all the
Yeah,
time.
that's Warmane.
That server is.
That's DLC.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The guy wants, what is it, 6K for TOC 10 man?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Jiraxis is hard, man. You got like a curse
dude.
and like a potential target. Do they do that on normal? A target swap
The
on the...
mage doesn't spell steal? Like, oh yeah, bro.
Oh.
Eredar Lord of the Burning Legion.
Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You can have a 3.4k mage who spell steals, who polys, who buffs, who deeps, right? Who does the right damage, the right spells, or you can have like a 4k mage but does none of that. If you're gonna go mythic, take the 3.4k mage.
Yeah.
Like,
Have
that's
to. You won't.
that's why it's fun. Like, you
I
need that
actually
kind of
had to
stuff.
use-
Dead people do 0 DPS,
Hell,
right? Like when the
Dead-
mechanics are hard and it's not the numbers anymore, IQ is higher than gear score.
yeah.
A dead DPS, a dead DPS is a bad DPS, and I die a lot.
Yeah.
But
Warlock, I feel your pain, bro.
yeah, can I
But
can I sorry can I have some real talk here? Do you think that we're all just beating a dead horse with Red the Lich King? I know it's a beloved expansion, everybody loves it, but it's been getting really old right now. It's been like what 12 years, 12 years a slave. Or, do you think that I mean, it will die at some point. That's just the truth. It will be revived now with Red Dead Lich King Classic, but how long will it live?
I think
That's a real
Classic will
question.
last longer than. Sorry, I think Warmain will last more than Classic. And ironically,
That's probably
like
true.
maybe not Warmain, but private servers of Rat are gonna last a lot longer than Classic.
Warmane might last even longer than retail WoW. In 20 years from now, when World of Warcraft completely dies out, I think Warmane will still exist. There will be, the 10 boomers like us, only actually, I don't know, being even older than now. I think that people will still play it, like, because we've invested so much time into the game. Like, I don't think that I'll ever leave my Warmane account completely.
yeah.
I do think there's
It's
one
just the
thing.
market. Sorry.
There's one light at the end of the Vanilla Classic and Wotla Classic tunnel, and it's their seasonal mastery thing. That has potential. Right? Like, it's basically a private server
It's
thing
already
where...
dead.
Yeah, that's the thing, but I think they gotta go harder on that. like you do a season of mastery. It's like a seasonal server basically, as far as I understand, and you get increased rates on some things.
Yeah, but again, I think that's just beating a dead horse. Like it really sounds like that. Like just I don't know, making some minor changes, only so people come back to a game that really is fucking old. WoW isn't perfect. Everybody knows that WoW is far from perfect. But the only way I can be entertained now while playing WoW is by watching movies on another monitor while leveling or doing something like that. It really is like that.
Albanian movies?
No, no,
The payoff.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe
it's
if they made it progressive, like into another expansion.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Like
and
if
that might be awesome.
But at a good
we-
pace, right? Not at like
Yeah.
3 years per expansion.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
if so,
we
if
clear
with
Ice Crown, 30% buff, we go into Kata.
Yep.
That would be cool. We spend 20 years on Heroic Deathwing Spine, and then we go into Mop. That'd be cool. I don't know.
And then you spend 20 years making dailies about carrots that kill monkeys.
Yeah.
Uh,
It'd be
I mean,
cool, man.
And then
I
you
think if they
imagine
made it progressive, it'd be cool, but
then you spend
yeah,
20 days on farming Azerite.
yeah.
imagine them opening every raid, and you can only enter the next raid after you clear the one before it. So you have to do Molten Core in order to progress to, is it Militarian's Lair? I made the classic anti. That's for you,
Blackwing Lair,
Sanmedina.
yeah.
Blackwing Lair.
Militarion is the Cataclysm version, I believe, the Riho thing.
Yeah,
If
the whole
yeah.
the other fight in BRD.
So only when you clear
Or
BRD, you progress to the next raid and the next and the next and the next. That would be a fun event. And of course, like guilds like Aves and I don't know any others actually, but it would be fun to watch the progress. Like one guild would be stuck in ICC while the other one is I don't know, in fucking the Black Temple. That would be really fucking cool to watch.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
And it would like I don't know if this would go with the same kind of theory, but like if you were to go into Blackwing Lair or something, it would like let's say you've already cleared Ice Crown. If you go back to Blackwing Lair, it would like change your gear score back to what it was in Blackwing Lair, so you could actually like raid Blackwing Lair as it was fresh.
like some
With
Borderlands type level
yeah, like
scaling or
your gear
something.
score would change to what raid you were doing. That would be cool. But
Like time walking.
yeah, exactly. They would do time walking.
You know what I really don't like about time walking on retail though? Why don't the set bonuses work? Like if you go to a tier 5 dungeon, you want a tier 5 set bonus, right?
Blizzard has a bot, right? And this bot is like a very important bot. It looks at players and they go, and sometimes they go, fan detected, delete, fan not allowed, and they do stuff like that. Like they have these awful ideas of they delete. If there's any sort of emergent gameplay in modern retail, they will find a way to delete it. Like they hate that for whatever, I don't get it, but they really hate that.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I think the retail is currently in a really good state. Like I think the game is really fun at this point.
I,
And
d- I think
yeah,
the top tier rating is always gonna be pretty good.
that's true. But I think that I'm slowly moving out of Reticle Exchange because as the as you know, I will always love it. Like it's the expansion where I started playing WoW, and I will always fucking love it. But in truth, it really is fucking old. And the more you know, when you truly love something, you see its flaws as well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I
like,
think Warmane is realizing that, and I think this was their first step into fixing it. I hope bringing in more content like the mythics, the time walking, just to keep people a little bit more interested. But we'll see as it goes on. I agree though, Nev. It's doing Ice Crown over and over and over again for a long time. It gets old. It really does. So
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
I
And,
think Eastern Europe is gonna carry the private server scene for Rat of the Lich King till the end of time.
yeah.
Like no matter what Americans do, because yeah, in America people are like, oh, the Xbox 69, let's go do that. But then you got in Eastern Europe the people that are still playing Counter-Strike 20 years later. You know, Vladimir is gonna be farming ICC till the end of time, man. Like
Yeah,
those
but
people love the rat, and I don't think they are going anywhere. And South Americans too, to a certain degree.
yeah, but
They got phone games now,
true,
casuals.
but our generation will die out. I mean, we will stop playing. Like the generation that's playing WoW now is people like me who played Warcraft 3 growing up,
Yeah.
who I don't know, fell in love with Jaina when they were fucking kids, and now we won't last forever. Kids these days don't give a shit about Warcraft 3. I mean, why would they, honestly? They care about Spider-Man and Fortnite, but like.
Yeah, in 2
uh,
generations, Warcraft's dead.
Blizzard made a mobile Diablo game.
Well,
I think the biggest problem with Blizzard is that their marketing strategy for WoW is not anymore to get new players, to get like kids to like the game. Their strategy now is to keep the boomers here as long as possible until they die. And I think that's a losing strategy. That's a race to the bottom. Even if you win, you still lose, you know?
yeah.
You know,
It's sad.
it's partly winning because most of the people who played a lot of video games when they were kids became programmers, and they usually have a lot of money, and they spend a lot of money in the game, like
The
and
OnlyFans demographic, yes.
exactly.
Well, is there any more like a final note that anybody wants to make? Because I just looked at the clock. My
Oh yeah.
my guild raid is
I
starting.
cannot wait. I cannot wait to play Sunwell with all the other 12 players.
Oh yeah, you heard it, chat. Go check out Sunwell.
Why? Just why?
Why? Oh yeah, it's a good server. I don't know. I wasn't joking. Like, I legitimately, if you guys want some Burning Crusade, go check out Sunwell. Like, it's good, right?
No. They are gonna do a Rat of the Lich King server.
Oh, if you want Rat of the Lich King, go check out Warmanes, guys.
If you like, I don't know, maybe if you can get like 25 people to play on the server, good luck. But maybe you can do Naxxramas for a few weeks. I don't know.
Oh, you want to
Holy
do a
crap.
Nox? If you can level me a
You didn't-
character, I'll lead the Naxxramas for you.
The other day we went to Darrowshire as an event, and we were like 15% of the player base. It was like 10 people in our group.
Hi. Well, I guess I've been there on Warmane when we had like 90 people online. Or 900, I guess. But even then, that felt like
When
10
was
people.
that, Obi?
Like 2012. Like,
I didn't even know that Warmane went through such a bad streak.
no, that's just like how it
was-
began for them. With Molten WoW and everything, and yeah.
And then the meltdown happened, and everybody came back.
Yeah, actually, the Molten probably gave them stonks.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, thank you guys for the podcast. I think there's a couple things that we can definitely talk about some more in the future, if anyone would be interested about that. Like, there's just a lot of big topics. We could even talk about one-hand dual-wield unholy DK. No takers? Nice.
Preg
Blood,
Paladin. Talk about the Preg Paladin. That's fun.
blood DPS.
Hablas español.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks everyone.
thanks guys. It was
Behave.
I'm gonna
my
stop the
pleasure.
stream here.
And yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching on the stream as well, guys. I appreciate that. And I'll be seeing you in like 2 minutes because I gotta do a guild run. Oh no.